Yo, Shortbox Nation, this is Botter, and I'm here to tell you right now that con season starts early this year with the return of Northeast Florida's premier anime, comic book, and sci-fi event, Collective Con. That's right, Northeast Florida's largest pop culture convention returns for its 10th year on March 8th through the 10th at the Prime Osborne Center in Jacksonville, Florida. 10 years of Collective Con, they're pulling all the stops out to make sure this is a can't-miss event. And the guest list they got going, don't even get me started on the guest list. I mean, they've got A-list celebrity guests and voice actors from some of your favorite movies, anime, and video games like Elijah Wood and Sean Ashton, Ray Park, Trisha Helfer, Ross Marquand, Max Middleman, and Bo-Katan herself will be there, Katie Sackhoff. Tell me what other convention is giving you the opportunity to meet Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings, Darth Maul, and One Punch Man all under the same roof. Only at Collective Con. And if you're looking to get some of your favorite comics signed, or if you want to get an original sketch from some of the best comic artists in the world, well, you're in luck, because there'll be plenty of comic and creator guests there, like DC comic artist extraordinaire Clay Mann, Harvey Award-nominated illustrator John Taylor Christopher, Marvel and DC cover artist Chris Stevens, and acclaimed Star Wars author Timothy Zahn. They'll all be at Collective Con this year. And if you're looking to bring the family, or if you want to make a weekend out of it, you're in luck, because there'll be so much going on at Collective Con that weekend in the form of vendors, fan panels, video game tournaments, cosplay contests, after parties, and a bunch of fan events. You can purchase single and 3-day weekend passes now using the link in this episode's show notes, or by going to collectivecon.com to book your tickets and hotel. Buy your tickets now, and I'll see you at Collective Con, March 8th through the 10th. Now let's start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Shortbox, Season 6, yeah.
As always, try to be careful of like the
table.
Yeah. I don't know. I probably just need to tighten some screw or some shit like that.
You've had this table for a long time. I'm guessing
a long time. This is like a cousin.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you gotta check on your cousins, man.
You're right. What do you have in that black bag? What's in that bottle? I know it's a bottle.
So of course it's a bottle.
Molotov cocktail.
I would never.
Man, it's on fire inside the bag.
It's like, yo, I'm passing this down to you. So obviously, as you know, I'm proud of you guys. And as you also know, I also bring the alcoholic beverages occasionally when I didn't bring the main show, but to celebrate you guys having a bomb ass 2019.
Ooh, I love presents. We're celebrating 2019 and 2020.
I got you. It's like I want to share this Goose Island Bourbon County Stout brand, aged in bourbon barrels.
Fancy.
Oh, damn.
Which is 14.7%.
God, delaminated.
Yes.
I'm trying not to curse, as much this year. So
exactly.
Delaminated.
Yes, I got you.
Nah, dude, appreciate it.
Yeah,
that looks like
it's
the fact that bottle does not have much branding on it. It's like, look, this is what you got, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
you won't remember. This is not the first Goose Island brand that you brought in either.
Of course. This will be the second, because the first one I bought.
Are you a shareholder?
It's not. I might be, dog. I might be.
Sponsorship.
I'm not being paid by Goose Island.
Nah, I appreciate it a lot.
Not yet.
Thank you.
Not yet.
Thank you. And you were pretty integral in 2019. I mean, you covered a few times for Cesar, like you're doing today.
I appreciate it, but I started off as a fan first, and everything to see what you guys have started with, and then kind of what you become has been a beautiful thing.
Damn.
And
I said I wasn't going to get emotional this episode.
Hey, bro,
that
means a lot.
Thank you.
Being at this table means more to me than anything, because I never thought in about the 3-4 years that I've listened to you, known you, and got to meet you guys that I would be here. And the fact that you mistakenly keep putting me on this show is still is something I will never take for granted.
Cesar can't make it. All right, breaking case of emergency.
Shaggy. Surprise, motherfucker!
I do want to go ahead and say that today. Thank you so much, Shaggy. Those are really great words, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man.
We'll bust this out during at our break time. Ooh, notes of vanilla, toffee, chocolate, burnt sugar, and dried fruit.
Burnt sugar.
Damn.
Yeah.
Goose Island don't play.
No, sir.
Even though Ashley's not here with us, she is here in alcoholic spirit, because today's episode is brought to you by Raging Blonde by Veterans United Craft Brewery. One day we'll get paid for those type of
half of these beers that I bring to the show are from Jacksonville, so there we go. It's definitely going to happen.
All right. Well, look. With that being said, enough beer talk, because this ain't Beer Talk podcast. But this is the Short Box Podcast, and I want to go ahead and welcome all of our listeners, new listeners, friends and family to episode 274. Look at that. Even the cops are looking for us. Episode 274. I'm your host, Botter Milligan. Got my right-hand man, Edmund Danzart, here with us. And Shaggy Black is joining us. There we go. As you can tell, Cesar and Ashley were unable to join today, but they'll be back next episode or the one after that. It's New Year's. Everyone's still kind of getting reacquainted with the year. Off the bat, man, I want to go ahead and say, with this one being our first episode of 2020, welcome to, of course, to all the new listeners joining us for the first time, and all of our friends and family, from for all the longtime listeners. What we like to do on this show to begin with is always highlight any new Shortbox patrons that end up joining the Patreon page, and we always want to give them a shout out. And we have a new one, man, the first new Shortbox patron of 2020. So let's get this applause ready. I would like to go ahead and welcome Errol White into the Shortbox patron family. Errol, welcome, sir. Fun fact: Errol White is me and Cesar have mentioned him a few times because he was our recruiter for the Air National Guard and helping us join.
Oh, dope.
So it's really cool to
Oh, that's cool.
Someone so pivotal in both of our lives has become a fan of the Shortbox and decided to go ahead and contribute and support the show. So shout out to Errol White. I do have an email from him that I'll go ahead and read during break time. He proposed a pretty interesting challenge as well as event. So we'll get to that. But I do want to go ahead and welcome Errol White to the Shortbox Patreon family, as well as a big shout out to all of our Shortbox Patreon members. There's about 26, 27 of you out there, and I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for your continued support, contributions, and all that stuff. And speaking about, on the topic of Patreon, shout out to all the future patrons. I know you guys are out there. You're waiting to enjoy our bonus episodes, exclusive merch and gifts, and commercial-free episodes. So let me help you out. Go to patreon.com/theshortbox and sign up for one of our reward tiers, okay? This episode is sponsored by CollectiveCon. North Florida's premier pop culture event is returning for another huge year of comics, music, entertainment, art, cosplay, and more. You'll find out more about the convention later on in the show. And in case you missed it, on our last episode, we had an in-depth discussion about the life and career of comic book icon Will Eisner. So if you're interested in becoming familiar or learning a little more about this comic book legend, find that episode 273. I believe the name was Drop C Avenue, on your favorite podcast app now. I'm going to take a sip of my beer.
Yo, I seen that Will Eisner's estate favorite, that tweet that you guys put out. How did you...
Oh, man, that shit was dope. Like, the fact that... Well, I won't lie. At first, I was like, holy shit, Will Eisner just retweeted the episode.
From the grave.
From the fucking grave.
I was like, yeah, this episode was so good. We got the retweet from the grave. Y'all boys are good.
You done did me proud.
But then, of course, it kind of like clicked. I was like, oh, okay, whoever runs his account, which was really cool. And there was like a lot of good, or at least... big name industry professionals who follow that account. So I was like, that's a good look for us. Mm-hmm. And it was definitely a strong episode to end the year.
Yeah.
I think, we always, I think I said in that episode, we always do our best to put our best foot forward for the artist spotlight episodes. Mm-hmm. But that one was just something special about it being like the last episode of 2019 and like covering such a big icon.
Yeah. I saw it and I was like, oh shit. It's like the power of one retweet.
That's literally made people's careers.
Yeah, sadly, I know. Trust and believe.
I don't think that's sad, to be honest. I think it says something that, to me at least, it still represents like the power of the people.
Oh, yeah.
And like, just the ability for a community or even like, a handful of just strangers to, build someone up. It's also kind of scary too.
Of course, because after one retweet, I am literally stuck on the internet forever as
oh my God.
GameStop meme. Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gents. If this is your first time listening to a Shortbox episode, and you're not familiar with Shaggy Black, we do have he's kind of like a pseudo internet celebrity. And I've never really like appreciated that we get to have a celebrity on the show to fill in as a special guest when Ashley and C are away. Shaggy, yeah. Ed, do you know about Shaggy's infamous meme?
Oh yeah,
GameStop, black GameStop employee meme.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I see your picture pop up on Reddit at least quarterly.
Do you know that you are consistent in your text messages every summer when you see it back right on there? I'm like, well, it's time, baby.
What's like a one sentence background info for listeners that are like,
so
GameStop meme?
Yeah, so I've worked for GameStop for 13 years. But most
You're
people,
are you getting like a pension? That is
man, it was a long time. But when people, like, short story of this, there was a picture of me from 2008 that we posted on Twitter, just to say, hey, how did you look back when you were 2008 or 10 years ago? So I posted the picture, and just show a picture from that. So I posted a picture of it. I got flamed for like wearing Jinko jeans in that, and as I should have been, because that fit was trash, bro.
Oh.
So like
it was 2008, man.
That was that's what I'm saying. It was 2008. I looked way better than I do now. So it was like
debatable.
Yeah, thank you. At least I think so. Thanks. But yeah, so I put that out. Some of my friends are making fun of me. Fast forward to like 2017. My friend brought up the picture again and said, seriously, man, I got a question about your denim. He shows the picture. He's like, what's going on here? And like I'm getting on there, haha, and we're all kind of cracking jokes. Some random out of nowhere takes the picture, puts that picture on his tweet, and puts every black GameStop employee ever.
Wow.
Retweets it. And in a matter of days, my shit blows up. Now, granted, he didn't put my at or anything in it, but people who knew me, they're like, fuck, dude, you're fucking, like, you're a goddamn legend right now. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So my shit blown up because half of the people didn't know it was me except the people who knew it was me.
Yeah.
And what made that whole thing funny is, yes, damn near 85% of black employees at GameStop look like that, dress that way. Hairstyle may be different, but yeah.
So did that guy know? Or he just said...
He was a fucking random who had no idea I worked for GameStop.
That's awesome.
And who had like no idea who I was. So that's what made the joke funny.
I don't think I've ever heard that part.
Yeah.
Dang.
Awesome.
I thought it was like one of your... Wow.
No. That's what made that's what made it great. I was like, yo.
You're probably on like the Mount Rushmore of GameStop employees.
At this point,
the
man.
one, like token black dude that works.
Exactly, the one black dude.
Well, regardless, we got an internet celebrity
That's awesome.
joining us today.
Should reach out to
Shaggy
GameStop
Black.
Oh, I tried.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I
Okay.
definitely tried.
They definitely don't want
They left me
nothing
on
to do with
read,
that.
but it's okay.
Man, there's nothing to do in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Did somebody say there's nothing to Duval in Jacksonville?
Danny Duval, what are you doing here?
Your ignorance summoned me. Now shut up and listen to these words. North Florida's premier anime, comic book, sci-fi, and pop culture event, Collective Con, returns for its 6th year. On March 20th through the 22nd, stars from The Mandalorian, Game of Thrones, Supernatural, The Crow, Dragon Ball Z, and even famous Pokemon card illustrator Mitsuhiro Arita is flying in from Japan to join in on the fun.
Wow! That sounds awesome!
Why are you still standing here? Go buy your tickets today at CollectiveCon.com, you lovable Nimrods!
All right, so check this out, Shortbox Nation. Occasionally, actually not even occasionally, a lot, quite. If we don't have a special guest or artist spotlight or any, a specific topic to talk about, we like to go ahead and dive into headlines, stories of the week. We call this our Shortbox Stories episode. So all of us have highlighted and brought a couple stories, headlines, big announcements, news, etc. that we feel are really interesting that might have gotten buried, or maybe you didn't see yourself, that we want to go ahead and highlight. We'll go ahead and kick it off with you, Shaggy. You got a pretty good one, a pretty current one, like happened this week, actually.
Like
right?
literally, probably within 3 days ago.
Yeah.
What's the story?
Honestly, man, how do you guys feel about Morbius, like the character?
I love him, the cartoon. I think we can see Felicia. Like, remember when
he was stalking the shit out of Felicia.
Yeah.
That's how I came up in Morbius.
Yeah.
Did you?
I love monsters, so like Legion of Monsters was some of my favorite because it's basically just like their version of the Universal. There's a Frankenstein guy. There's a creature.
Yeah.
There's a Dracula. And,
Hell yeah.
And I got those old Spider-Mans and stuff with him.
Yeah, and
I thought he looked cool. Yes, I always liked him.
Also, I want to go ahead and my other experience with Morbius would be remember when Todd McFarlane got his own Spider-Man series? Mm-hmm. And I think like there was a 2 or 3 issue story arc about Morbius and like I think the homeless dudes.
Yep.
Yeah. Homeless dudes were going like vanishing. He was sucking their blood. Yeah. And I just remember like Todd McFarlane drawing Morbius was epic as hell.
Yeah, of course, because that's his fucking MO.
Yeah. But we got a movie coming out.
Yeah, so
Morbius.
Exactly. That's the reason why I asked you, because Sony somehow, some way just said, fuck it, we're going to keep the truck going and make any and everybody who's a Spider-Man character get a movie, and even the obscure ones like Morbius. So Morbius occasionally is based on Sony and Wikipedia saying they're coming out in 2020. I doubt it's coming out in 2020. It says 2020. I don't think it's coming out in 2020. I think it's going to be 2021. But so Sony just put out their own image, their first image of Morbius the character, and that's it. If you don't know, Jared Leto is supposed to be playing Morbius.
Which, by the way, he looks like Morbius even without makeup.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
he kind of gives me like vampire vibes.
Yes, he definitely fits that character because he's like, I can believe that you turned into a vampire like right after
absolutely.
whatever happened to you.
What's the name of his band?
30 Seconds
Yeah,
Mars?
thank
Okay,
you. Because it's literally one of the songs started playing.
I was really hoping
I
was hoping it was like Vampire Weekend. But that would be cool. But anyways.
But yeah, no. So that movie's dropping, and have you seen the image? Actually,
I'm the one that posted it on the account. For once, I actually like.
You actually did something?
Wow. Well, no. For once, I beat Ed to like some because Ed's. If I'm being honest, a lot of times I get my quote unquote breaking news is from the Shortbox Instagram page, and a lot of folks usually hit me up directly like, "Yo, what did you think?" I'm like, "I haven't even watched this trailer, bro." Like that was Ed. That was Ed. So I want it to be known that our own Edmund Danzart typically runs about like 90% of the Shortbox Instagram page. If it's a post about like an episode or hyping up like, it's all like the boring stuff like, hey, check out our new episode, or hey, we got a sponsor, or hey, go on Patreon. That's usually me. Ed usually has all the cool, funny stuff. But now, the way I found that Morbius image was it Lars? Dang, actually, who shared that? I think it was Lars that sent. Yeah, Lars. Good friend of the show, Lars, Shortbox patron himself. He's been on the show too. But yeah, Lars has been super hype for Morbius. One of the biggest fucking Morbius fans I've ever met. But yeah, he sent me the image, I believe, and I was like, "Whoa! Like, yo, this is really awesome."
And it's just his face, like a cropped in, picture of his face.
So that picture is. I was at first when I seen it, I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I kind of looked. I was like, "Oh shit, that's actually not bad." My thing is, I have no faith in Sony.
Well,
none.
Well, real quick, just some more background on that image.
Into the Spider-Verse, dude.
That image, I don't know. Did Sony release it themselves?
So I heard it was a leak.
Okay, well, I definitely know it was a leak, and
initially,
from my understanding,
I think Sony just
owned up to it because my understanding is that they have a trailer. And someone just screen grabbed this image. And at first it was like, well, this could be an official image. This couldn't, like, just kind of take it with a grain of salt. It might have been on Bleeding Cool. I don't think Larson. I think I saw it on, like, Bleeding Cool or Reddit. And they're like, hey, this is a screen grab from this potential trailer. And so I guess I didn't know that Sony owned up to it.
I think they owned up to it.
Okay, that's fair.
Very recently, because I didn't even know about it till we were talking about it.
Because I definitely heard it was a leak.
I thought it looked good, especially a lot of people were pairing it with the comic book strip image. It kind of
that's what sold me.
I was like, oh, that actually looks really cool.
That's what sold me.
Even without seeing the comic image, I was like, oh, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I was like
he's a pig-nosed vampire. Like, what else do you expect?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just I like I said, when I saw it, I was like, the fuck is that? And then I kind of was like, okay, hold up. Like, and then they released it with the side-by-side comic cover. I was like, okay, no, that looks dope.
Yeah.
And if it's like a Legion of Monsters movie, because I don't know what Sony has and doesn't have.
What doesn't. Yeah.
They have him, but do they have, like, Elsa Bloodstone? Do they have all these other characters?
I guess this was the most surprising part to me was, I was like, dang, wait, there's already a Morbius trailer. So, of course, I went on, Google, and I was trying to look for IMDb, and they have a cast listed.
Yeah.
Like a pretty full cast. Yeah. You got it?
Oh, yeah, I got it. I got it right here. The cast that was just, obviously they got Jared Leto, Matt Smith, Adria. Yeah, Doctor Who. Adria Arjona, Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson.
He's back.
Back after
He's definitely going to say something like, "Oh hell no!"
Exactly.
In this movie, he's going to say something like, "Man, we don't do this."
Exactly, and then I
shirt
guess
will be off.
Jared Harris, exactly,
muscles
just showing.
It's just going to be off in like a graveyard for no reason. Like,
man, it's hot.
Like this doesn't make any sense. I guess, and the last person that's probably more noticeable is probably Al Madral and Jared Harris.
Yo, this is Botter. Sorry for interrupting this episode, but I'll keep it brief. I wanted to let you know about a massive sale we have going on over at the Shortbox Store on all of our merchandise and apparel. That's theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com. You can now save 20% off your entire order using the discount code YOO, Y-O-O. So if you've been waiting for the right time to finally buy that gauntlet snapback, or if you ever wanted to buy any of the shirts you see me wear on the podcast, well, now's your chance to get them for a steal. We still have a few sizes left of everything, but they won't last long, and once they're gone, they are gone. And then I mentioned that all of our apparel is screen printed on high quality material. None of that heat transfer or direct to garment stuff. Our shirts are some of the most comfortable ones you'll ever wear, and the hats look even better in person. So wear your support for the Shortbox Nation proudly, knowing that you're going to look damn good doing it. Get to theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com as soon as you can, and don't forget to use that discount code YOO, Y-O-O, to save 20% off your entire order. All of this information can be found in this episode's show notes if you want to get there faster. Thanks for not pressing fast forward. Now back to the show. So, do you recognize any of these characters they're playing, like Loxias Crown from Matt Smith, Martine Bancroft, Adria Arjona is playing, or even Tyrese's character Simon Strode?
So I heard the name Simon Strode, but honest to God, no. I am not going to sit here and pretend that I paid attention to anything in the Morbius universe outside of him sucking the blood out of people with his hands.
Whoa, Simon
from the cartoon. Like,
oh
literally,
my God, yo, I forgot about that. He had like them weird like puffer fish.
He was a vampire, but I guess because of how they didn't want that to be violent on kid shows, but he had like the little two sucky things that he was
like a leech.
He's like he was like plasma. They wouldn't even call it blood. It was like he's sucking the plasma out of him.
Don't do this, kids.
Exactly.
Don't drink blood.
There's no bite marks. Just like.
Well, that's like that old Fantastic Four cartoon where they didn't put in Human Torch because they thought kids would light themselves on fire and jump out the window.
All right, so Simon Strode is like a secret agent, special agent type character. And this white, oh man, they're blackwashing it too.
Oh.
Like he was originally, he's black in the comic, or white in the comics.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of Simon Strode outrage.
Nah, he's all even 1.5 of them.
Even the neckiest of neckbeards are like,
we'll give you that.
Well, I like Tyrese.
They're like, yeah. He kind of needs an update. He needs an update.
I like Tyrese.
And then Loxias Crown is first look at villainous Loxias Crown. I'm not gonna like spend time just trying to like read off Google, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a character. Yeah, this is the character. I mean, he looks cool. Like, I just have not read enough like Morbius.
Yeah.
Like
you know he's not gonna look like that, dude.
What?
Well, if Sony's doing it, he's not gonna look like that.
Of course, he's gonna. If anything, he'll be more. He'll be hipster. He'll be that version looks like regal as hell. So the only thing regal nowadays is like we have like hipster dudes. So that's pretty much that's exactly like the modern take of that. But
like I said, I think it looks good, but at the same time, what I've been telling everyone, it looks good to me. But at the same time, I'm scratching my head like, why are we getting a Morbius?
You know why we're getting a Morbius movie? Because Venom did $800 million. That's why I don't
that, and they want to keep whatever Marvel characters they can under their.
Yeah,
if they don't use them,
it goes right back to Marvel.
He's going to be in Doctor Strange 3 if they don't do this movie.
Yeah, that's actually a nice segue.
Yeah.
Speaking about Doctor Strange.
I was not on purpose.
Speaking about this heavy-handed Doctor Strange segue.
That was a happy accident.
Ed, you got some updates about Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so just a few days ago, January 9th, Scott Derrickson posted on Twitter, Marvel and I have mutually agreed to part ways on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Wow, that's lengthy. Due to creative differences.
And Scott Derrickson was what, the director?
Yeah,
Okay,
director.
cool.
He directed the first one. So I'm thankful for our collaboration. I will remain on as EP, executive producer, which means a million different things. So he doesn't mean he's going to be on set at all.
That sounds like a sweet gig.
In context, what that tweet said was, they don't want me scaring kids, so I can't do that. So
Scott,
they're paying me to still be here.
Remember, he was talking about. He said he was wanting to go full because he has that horror background.
Yeah, he has a horror background.
And he wanted to go more full gothic horror.
Yeah.
like old school. And then
And
What has he done?
he has. Oh Lord, I just had the horror movie that he did. It was I actually really liked it. Hold on, paste on music, but yeah, he has done. Dang, I had to pull that up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Put me on the spot.
But,
go ahead while we're waiting.
Good.
yeah, so he's like said. So that's the whole thing. The creative differences things, and the executive producer thing is basically they're going to keep. I'm guessing enough of his input.
Vision, yeah.
But there's something that story wise that he doesn't agree with, or with Feige. I know he was saying something about it, wanting it to be kind of a rated R movie to kind of really get into that, horror, that horror touch. But Feige's not going to go for that.
It's pretty much the Edgar Wright thing all over again with Ant-Man.
It's very
Okay,
similar.
got it.
And then, like I said, it's executive producer. He's probably not going to be on set. Like I said, it's and there's that thing with the Feige saying that the Vision Wanda series is going to kind of tie in to Doctor Strange, so that could be a thing that he probably didn't want to deal with.
Having to mess with continuity and
but
And it's a lot of variables. And then this is what kicks me because I knew he really did a really good movie. Sinister.
yeah.
I know you're just getting it. I know you're just getting your horror feet wet. That is actually not a bad movie.
that I just gave you as I've never heard
And
of it.
this,
Look like
what's
I
really
have.
funny, the guy who wrote the first Doctor Strange tweeted that he's
Join the club, buddy.
So C. Robert Cargill is the writer of the first Doctor Strange. So it's like, so I guess it's safe to announce that Scott Derrickson in my next film, Cats 2: The Ferning, has been moved up. That's a horror.
Oh man, I didn't know he did Urban Legends 2 as well. Urban Legends 2 Final Cut. I actually like that movie.
It's such a weird thing because it's only like a few months from, starting to film.
Yeah.
So it's like a very last minute exit.
It's legitimately the Edgar Wright thing all over again because he got halfway in and he was like, yeah, we didn't get along, so I'll stay on as EP and but thank you. They'll still keep my writings, but somebody else is going to finish directing.
And him is a little different too because he was starting that movie before Disney took over all the Marvel property.
Yep, and that's when they got really strict with all their stuff.
So that was like his timing was just strange. So he did a lot of this groundwork, but then Disney came in, and then it was just a clash, styles clash.
The first thing I think about when I see these headlines of director, creative differences, director, hops off project is well, damn. Now I'm curious what the original vision was. I feel like that's always. Like, it instantly becomes like a handicap or something people lean on, which is like, well, yeah, it's a bad movie because we didn't have the original director vision and stuff like that.
Oh, he
but it always makes me curious. I'm always like kind of curious. Like, man,
he definitely wanted to scare kids.
Yeah,
that's he's like, oh, I'm about to scare the hell out of them.
Then I guess I wonder, like, does Marvel or Disney or who, even Kevin Feige, like, do they do any background? Like, do you know what you're getting into? Like, are you just expecting these directors and artists?
To be fair, he did do Doctor Strange and was really good.
Yeah.
So there could be a miscommunication where it's like, I've proven myself here.
I got you.
I should get more stroke
creative
here.
Coming here. But Feige's always had, like, it's his vision. This is what we're doing. This is, and you can have your own touches to it and your influence, but you're not changing the story.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Look, I want Dormammu to eat a child.
Yeah.
No.
And kid eating.
like Jesus. It was like, no, this is not what we're doing.
Do you think they were like, so I want Dormammu to eat a child? What about like a homeless guy? And it's like, nope, I don't want none of this.
A homeless
You're
guy
stifling my creative freedom.
That's like, no, that's terrible. I need, it needs to be a child. He's like, no, but that's literally my first thing I thought. He's like, I want to make this a horror movie, and they were like, yeah, we're not trying to really do that. And he's like, but
pussies.
Exactly. And then he's like, you know what, I'm done. So that's the type of thing that's how I see it because of his horror background, and which is crazy to me because horror directors have been doing well in superhero movies, putting their own spin on it, especially with James Wan and Aquaman being like the first $1 billion one.
Yeah.
Scott Derrickson with Doctor Strange, and who? There was one other person that did one.
I really wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't that bad. I mean, like, I don't foresee it, like, you know, if I'm judging off, like, Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange, I wonder how bad was it? Or was it really just Marvel or DC, Disney and Marvel kind of being, like, just overly protective of their brand?
It's Disney Marvel being overly protective because Doctor Strange didn't do terrible in the box office. It wasn't a heavy hitter, but it did enough for the character to where people will go see the movie.
Yeah. And I think that was all of our, or at least my critique.
And it was visually different than everything else. Yeah. Besides, like, when you started, besides, like, that first Guardians movie.
Oh, and it was, and it was Shazam, the other horror movie director.
What? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You could not tell me that was a horror.
Yeah. It was
the range.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
yeah, and it just could be that simple. Just, you know,
and I guess it wasn't that of a you know, a big confrontation or an ugly thing because he's staying on as EVP, you know.
Yeah, because they say, we like your ideas. He's just like, exactly, we like your ideas just enough not to go for it with them. Like, but we're going to pay you for the good ones. Yeah, so here you
stay
go.
on as a consultant. All right,
there you go. All right,
so. You can do it remotely. You don't even have to come.
Yo, that's what I'm saying.
He's like, how much do I have to pay you to hit me that child? He's like, not enough.
So staying in the realm of the MCU, I think, Ed, you also had you wanted to mention something about Beta Ray Bill.
This week I was on Twitter and I saw Beta Ray Bill was trending.
Sir.
We made it. All right, now we've. I feel like every couple months I have a reason to say, "Oh, comic nerds have made it."
Yes,
I would never have dreamed that I would see Beta Ray Bill trending on Twitter.
Oh my God.
What was the hashtag? Just Beta Ray Bill?
Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, come on.
I didn't even look it up. It was just the top thing. The very top thing. I click on the magnifying glass, says trending, Beta Ray Bill right there.
Damn.
It's like, what the hell? So I clicked on it, and you kind of get through the first few tweets that are like, holy crap, Beta Ray Bill's trending. To get to, like, reason why it's actually trending. So Christian Bale's in talks with as being part of the next Thor, the Love and Thunder. So once that kind of leaked out, people were saying, he's got a horse-like face. he can paint it orange and be.
So Twitter being
like,
Twitter,
hey, man, I don't look like that.
Yo, that's really funny.
They put the
Christian Bale's like, what the fuck? I don't look.
They put a comparison to him and a Clydesdale. They put a comparison like side by side picture of him and a Clydesdale, and it'll be like, I don't see the difference. He'd be perfect.
So that's everyone's kind of like dream casting because it's been rumored that
no, mine isn't either.
It's been rumored that Beta Ray Bill and Silver Surfer are going to be two characters introduced.
Now that could be dope.
That'd be epic,
which would be awesome. I don't know if it's going to either one of those are going to be Christian Bale, but the fact that we've had teases of Beta Ray Bill. We have Stormbreaker in the MCU now.
You've literally seen Beta Ray Bill's face in carved out in stone, like legit right there.
On that, and then in the collector's thing, there was like a horse face thing but then James Gunn said it wasn't Beta Ray Bill.
I guess I just don't see. Sorry, I guess I just don't see Christian Bale playing, second to anyone, like especially Beta Ray. Who I mean, I love Beta Ray Bill. Don't get me wrong, but he is not like the most integral. Unless they make him in the movie an integral character, but I just don't see Christian Bale wanting to play like a B-list, C-list character.
And he's like the reason Stormbreaker was made.
Yeah,
because he beat Thor.
And it was battle. And it's just like, hey man, I respect your game. Here's your I made you something.
Yeah,
but could Christian Bale play Beta Ray Bill? I think he could play.
Honestly, anyone. He can play anyone. He can play anyone.
As long as he doesn't do that Batman voice.
I'm Beta Ray Bill.
Imagine like the Batman voice.
To me.
Imagine like the Batman voice with like the occasional like neigh, like horse neigh.
Oh God, man!
Oh my God!
Where's my hammer?
Even his horse neigh will be like.
Oh my God! I would love to see Beta Ray Bill.
I actually wouldn't mind him a Silver Surfer either. Yeah, like honestly, because that'd be like super. That'd be super regal and everything else.
Then we bring in. Then we start the Galactus talks.
Yes, slowly and surely.
Because those two have battled Galactus, or you know,
Damn, that would
been a
be
part of
such an
Galactus.
awesome like entry point to finally bring in all these like Fox
properties
into like the
You like
Disney
see his helmet on the outline, like in
Dude,
post
not-
credits.
like that would
Oh my
feel
God,
seamless.
dude. Like
to me.
that's when you start building towards.
Yeah, not the
your,
grasshopper
like-
Galactus, that dumb shit.
Nah,
Like
the Lotus,
real purple helmet.
the Locust.
just like
Yeah.
big ass pimp hand coming
All right,
out of
yeah.
nowhere.
I do want to admit, you know, we joke about, you know, one of our favorite news sites is Latino Review. See, Cesar got my ass so good. He sent me this screenshot of this article that had Christian, like a picture of Christian Bale, and it was like Christian Bale to play Mephisto, and I got so hyped.
Oh
I was
my
like, "Oh
God.
shit, I could see him playing it!" And but I went straight to Google and typed in, you know, Christian Bale Mephisto, and it was like, "Oh, you know,
news.
among the, you know," and I was like, "You motherfuckers!" So you got me, see, you got me. But all I understand really is that Christian Bale has shown interest in the MCU.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of like, well, who will he play? I don't know how they arrived at. Was there any catalyst that made people arrive at Beta Ray Bill and
Horseface.
The further you go down,
people being mean?
Pretty much people being assholes.
people being just assholes. Like it's
You know
just
he's going to be
Yeah, that's so
CGI.
funny,
They're
man.
not just going to paint his face
they're
orange.
not gonna just like
throw him out there.
You know,
DH him and just horse him up. No. And Christian Bale, but Christian Bale's that character actor that will literally go.
yeah.
Dude.
He'll spend like 2 years with a horse.
in a horse
Build-
farm.
In a horse farm.
Take horse steroids. get all
Exactly. Be like,
jacked.
what are you doing? He's like, yo, he really got into this role. My God.
his neigh is so
But,
perfect.
but you were saying earlier,
Sugar cubes, get him the sugar cubes.
but what you were saying earlier about would he play like this kind of BC list character? I mean, even in the MCU, you've seen pretty big, you know, actors
Yeah, it's
play
not uncommon.
smaller roles.
Man,
in the
Tilda
big.
Swinton got thrown off.
Yeah.
like a side of a building, and Tilda Swinton is like Oscar nominated.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's big actors that will take these small roles for that big Marvel money.
And I'm also thinking, like, well, I mean, Christian Bale does have a track record of playing, like, just cameos. I mean, one of my favorite cameos, fucking Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, I know this is reaching, but just roll with it. Tropic Thunder. He plays a B-list cameo character, you know, at the very end. Thor, Love and Thunder.
Okay.
Just saying. Just saying.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
You even see like was it?
You tried it.
It was like Matt Damon was in the. Was Matt Damon in, with Deadpool?
Oh, yeah. No, he was in,
And he was in
no, he
Thor.
was in Thor, yeah. Was he in
And-
Deadpool?
Yeah, he was one of the Invisible guy. And the X-Force
dude,
that
yeah.
all died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Brad Pitt getting electrocuted
Brad Pitt,
and it's just
yeah.
like and just like you see him and I'm like, yo, I heard how he got into that role and that's funny. I would imagine Christian Bale's like, yeah, man, you mind some smokes, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Damn, the MCU's become like a cool kids club. Like, yeah, you
it's
know,
Cool Kids
yeah,
Club.
I'll
Look, you
do
have like
that
even,
random shit.
I don't know if it's the same comparison, but you have like Lawrence Fishburne, who's playing.
Oh my God,
might be Goliath. Maybe if they ever play that out, who was
Yeah.
Goliath in the when he
if
was younger.
If you can't get Keith David, then yeah. I mean, yeah, I know
And
why
like
you
Michael
wouldn't get Keith
Douglas,
David.
he's
Yeah.
not like a big. He's not Ant-Man. He's like, you know, the original Ant-Man. So he's kind of in the background too. So you have these big it's actors.
Like dudes, like women, men and women who have like no real reason to be there. He's like, look, I've won my Oscar.
Yeah.
I have no.
Now I get
option
to have
be here.
fun and make money.
Now I just get to do something. My kid, 9 times
Yeah,
10,
and
what
my
they
kids.
say, my kids will
That's
love
a big
this.
thing too. Like they have kids, and I've
Like,
read
sir, you are
interviews.
86 years old. What are you doing with 7-year-olds?
Michael Douglas has like probably like 2-year-olds.
That's what I'm saying.
He's like 80.
Hold up. I think I'm thinking of Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder. Not
You
Christian
are, but
Bale.
I'm polite. I don't
Damn,
want
why? Like, you had me go on like for 5 minutes. Damn it.
The point was there.
Yeah, the point was there. It was there. We know what you meant.
Damn.
In spirit. But
Someone
it definitely was
yeah, he's
Tom
like,
Cruise.
someone stopped listening at that point. They're like, this dude does not know what the fuck he's talking about.
No research.
Matter of fact, so I don't embarrass
Damn it,
myself.
I meant Tom Cruise. Sorry.
Tilda Swinton is an Oscar award-winning candidate. Like I knew she was nominated, but she was definitely she won.
yeah, I think both your points still stand. I mean, at this point, the MCU has gotten so big. It's kind of like, are you even remotely a fan? Or, you know, I feel like this is a lot of big-time actors' chance to just kind of live like a childhood, whatever memory, or do it for their kids. I mean, how many times have we heard like
I've heard
oh, yeah,
several interviews. I want to do something my kids want to watch.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
I guess it's possible.
It happens. You know, they just want to do something. Not. It's like, yo, I did something in my career. This would be fun. This would be newer, and it's like they're not saying no to them because now they're kind of one of the bigger Hollywood blockbusters. So they're kind of like,
then they can go back and do the artsy movies.
Yeah, they can definitely do. Hey, okay, yeah,
take that Disney check.
Yeah, exactly.
So real quick, speaking about Disney, I don't know if you guys. Actually, and I don't want to lie, I have not seen the new New Mutants trailer yet.
I have,
yeah.
But I think Ed, you had posted. I think you had posted it that this new one came out and there's actual release date. What is it, like April?
Soon,
yeah, April 3rd.
Yeah,
really soon.
They just put a trailer out.
Speaking of, wait, was it you, Shaggy, that you were like, oh, we'll never see that movie, or was it Phoenix? I think it was like Dark Phoenix.
It was Dark Phoenix
because it came out like a month later.
I was hurt because out of two things, it was. So I was railing on Dark Phoenix, but I was also saying New Mutants. If it was New Mutants, I want to say that it was because like we'll never see that movie, and that hurts my heart because I wanted New Mutants out of the Rise of Phoenix and that was the only movie I wanted to see because it was a different take. It was
different, yeah.
It was a different take on X-Men and Mutants by going the horror route, and I am a sucker for anything.
And these
horror.
characters haven't been on screen.
Exactly, these characters haven't been on screen. When I saw the original trailer, I'm like, yo, this is kind of messed up. I was like, I kind of want to see this, and I was more hyped for that. When it got pushed back, I was like, we'll never see the light of day of this movie.
Well, I mean, what ended up happening is, and I'll tie the whole Disney, thing too into it. But what was happening was they were going to release it, but this is back when the property was owned underneath Fox. But then when the merger happened, it got kind of pushed to the sides. There was also like rumors of reshoots too. Yeah. So even though the director,
we had an episode about.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was literally
Well, I think
I was in that episode.
Yeah, you were in that episode.
I think Josh Boone, the director Josh Boone, even ended up saying like, no, there wasn't a lot of reshoots. It was all kind of rumors. I never left the project. Fast forward now, we get the trailer, we get a release date. Even the director Josh Boone is still saying like, no, this movie is exactly just like my original vision. So. That was pretty interesting. And also, freaking New Mutants, comic book icon, alumni, Bill Sienkiewicz, even ended up tweeting something this week, too, that was saying, like, look, this is amazing. Like, it doesn't have to be rated R. It's a PG-13, but he still gets, like, the point across. It's really well. So I thought that was cool that Bill Sienkiewicz, like, chimed in and was like, no, this is really good.
And see, this was
considering his work with New Mutants, too. Yeah. Iconic work.
This is what messes me up, though. Ed, you said you saw the trailer, right? The new trailer? Do you remember the old trailer?
Vaguely, I don't remember.
Vaguely,
all I remember was
in the
like the psychiatry ward.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Laundry,
This
laundry
one,
going crazy.
Yeah, you had a face or a hand on fire out of the laundry. I'm like, yo, that's. I was like, okay, now you have my interest. Like now you have my interest. The new trailer kind of deviated away from that. It still felt like creepy, but not as there's a horror aesthetic in this.
Well, it's
more like these kids are getting abused and they're trying to find their way out.
This we've seen this so much now, like the kids in the science lab, trying to get out.
Yeah.
We've seen it like in Stranger Things.
Wolverine,
we've seen it,
the Wolverine.
So we've seen this idea, but we have these characters that we haven't seen on screen. That damn Stark girl.
Wait, did you mean Logan?
Yeah, that's what I meant, Logan.
Yeah.
So this trope has been done like a lot, and I don't know. I'm just kind of, it's weird that they put a trailer out just a few months before
and say it's coming out.
Yeah, usually there's
a lot of build up.
Like 6 months out,
and I think we even made a joke that all the actors in this movie kind of forgot they did this.
Yeah, we did. It's like, yo,
because this cast is pretty like
it's like an X-Men.
You got a Game of Thrones character.
You got Maisie Williams playing Wolfsbane. You got Anya Taylor-Joy playing Elena Rasputin Magic, which I was like, yo, she looks really good.
Yeah.
Charlie Heaton playing Sam Guthrie. Antonio Banderas is in this movie.
Yes.
Not credited, at least according to this IMDb.
He probably gets murdered.
Happy Anderson is playing Reverend Craig, and a whole bunch of other characters as well. But what was I going to say? So the whole thing about the Disney part was earlier this week, Disney's D23 newsletter had made a mention that this movie, The New Mutants, was set in the MCU. And the verbiage was something to the effect of, there's a seriously electrifying new addition to the MCU universe, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it comes in the form of the latest 20th Century Fox and Marvel Entertainment, and then it kind of, goes into it.
Interesting.
But a couple of days after that, that newsletter like kind of disappeared,
Psych.
and they retracted that statement.
That person got fired.
Exactly.
So I was kind of curious, like, and that kind of caught my attention because, like, oh wow, like, especially hearing about like the Doctor Strange and Scott Derrickson thing, and our own kind of like thoughts of like, well, maybe it was like too scary, maybe it was like they were trying to lean too hard. And when you look at that trailer for the New Mutants, even the OG one, and I imagine even some elements of that kind of carried over in this new one, but even the damn description of New Mutants, at least the way they solicit it, the New Mutants is an original horror thriller set in an isolated hospital where a group of young mutants is being held for psychiatric monitoring. Strange occurrences begin to take place, blah, blah, blah. Like, that does not scream MCU.
No.
So, for Disney's, not MCU or Marvel Entertainment, it was Disney's D23 newsletter. Like, they're kind of like fan club newsletter saying, hey, we got a new addition to the MCU. I was like, oh, that would have
actually been perfect had it would have started, just to kind of work that horror. You could have easily kind of test the waters to see,
or even
can
like
the horror stuff work here?
Yeah, or even like brand it as something separate from MCU. Like still MCU umbrella, but like this is the equivalent of like DC's Black Label.
Or like the Netflix.
Yeah.
Like it happened, but it didn't happen.
Together, but not really.
Not really, but it's still in the same.
It's a big world.
Yeah, it's a big world.
But think about
it would have been a nice transition. Like if hey, let's put this out on the water, see if this does, and if it does, okay, so this does actually really well.
And it'd be a good way to introduce mutants into the MCU.
I think my
horror.
I think my theory is definitely a mistake, but I think they don't want that to be their first. Introduction of mutants,
Let's not
because that would have been kind of in a way monumental for, or at least in this particular scope, but monumental for Marvel to finally like, hey, this is our first like offering of mutants in the X-Men realm. I think someone maybe very high up said no, that's not
because
the
they
plan.
can't exploit it. They can't exploit it. Think about this. Everything they've done up until this point, they've literally done to make toys or do anything like that. You couldn't really do that with this if it's scaring your 5-year-old.
That and there's no shiny uniform.
There's none of that. Nothing you can literally market. This wasn't your property that you came up with.
Toyetic enough.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, and that maybe even alters my. I've always kind of had this opinion on Disney, but it definitely makes it more prevalent. Like. Disney and Marvel, you guys got to take a risk or something. Like, this would have been a good way to just like take a risk.
Take a newer risk because they've known to take risks before by fucking putting Guardians of the Galaxy on television or on the big screen. So I know they can take risks, but they don't want to.
But this isn't their baby.
Yeah, this is literally not their property. They're like if it fails,
stepkid coming in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You claim the stepchild if they like do swimmingly well for themselves. But if they kind of flounder, it was like, that was from I married his mother. Like type of stuff. Like that's the thing. So
they're
if
living with their grandma.
Exactly.
I wonder if they watched the movie and they're like, I don't know if I want. I don't think we want our names or MC attached with
They
this.
probably didn't want any. They probably knew anything X-Men tied to Fox. They were like, yeah, no, we don't want any of that. And they was like, what about this one? Yeah. And then they come out. I swear to God, if this does more money, if this beats its budget, and it comes out, they're gonna kind of start second guessing themselves.
I mean, but I wonder what else do you do with this? Because I mean, that action of pulling back on saying or that newsletter tells me that I don't know if they will continue it, even if it does have success. I wonder if it'll be like, shucks, we should have,
Yeah, no, that was probably Feige saying, no, we don't want to do it this way. We don't want to do it this way. We want to do it our own way. So
I bet you this movie will be good. I have a feeling it might.
I even said that.
It could be like Logan, where it
could look
completely different.
Yeah, it could be like, yo, this is better than I thought it would be.
I bet you it'll be a good. It'll be one of those like really good standalone movies that you're like, I kind of want another one, but I'm all right. Just like that.
Yeah, I'm okay with not getting a sequel for this, but I would love a sequel to this.
Right. I just hope it doesn't suck and people will start emailing like, man, you guys said remember when you said it'd be good?
Remember you said you like, haha.
We always hope it'll be good.
Yeah, we have high hopes here.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see Magic on the big screen. So that was my that was one of my first items, and I got one more. We're going to jump ship to DC Comics side of the house. Have you guys heard about this DC Comics 5G kind of comic continuity / timeline idea they're throwing out?
Vaguely, I've heard it's kind of tied to like Scott Snyder or Wonder Woman being like the first.
Yes, yeah. So there's a few elements in it. So it is really kind of being spearheaded by the publisher Dan Didio over there at DC Comics, and it is essentially DC's plan to kind of clean up continuity, start fresh, and have like one concrete like continuity.
Have we heard this before?
I know. Well, and exactly. It's like how I've heard this a lot.
The New 52.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yes.
So the plan is, and I'm just gonna kind of hit high level points because there's a lot of nothing's been like confirmed and concrete yet. They're playing it really close to the chest. There was a timeline floating around that Dan Didio shared of the of what the new timeline would be, but it was taken down real quick because one, it wasn't ready, it wasn't meant to be like consumed by the public, and I got most of this from several Bleeding Cool articles. So it involves what they want to do is I think this sometime in the summer. Originally supposed to be planned for the spring, and then it got pushed to summer, and then autumn, and whatever. But sometime soon this year, I think in the summer, they're going to do another big kind of Convergence style event, like Convergence number 2. You guys remember Convergence?
Yeah.
They kind of stopped all of the essentially all of their titles. Did this big crossover event. It had impacts in every single book, and then Rebirth, I believe, started right after that. It was either Rebirth or New 52, one of those. I think Rebirth. Yeah. But they're going to do the same thing. So they're going to
Rebirth. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So they're going to stop. They're going to stop their titles for about 2 months or a month. I think they're still debating a month or two. Do this big Convergence thing, and then pick up right into 5G. So what 5G will see is that all of the legacy characters like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman have aged exponentially, and then the 5th generation of characters are spearheading the title. So
oh God, that means we're gonna get Damian Wayne as Batman.
No, actually, no. This was surprising. Jonathan Kent would become Superman. Luke Fox would become Batman. Captain Cole Jr. would be the new Flash. And I'm not familiar with this character, but Joe Mullion would be the new lead Green Lantern. So I mean, it really is taking like a whole new crop of the upstarts and youngsters and putting them in the title characters. So the older character or the legacy characters would more so play like advisory roles. And what they would do is just kind of slowly start explaining like what happened with the aging, like what happened in between this time frame.
Interesting.
That's 5G. 5th generation is what it stands for.
Yeah, I wish they call it 5th generation and not 5G because I legitimately.
I know.
If you text me that information, I swear to God, I said they selling cell phones now.
That's the same thing.
I was like, I say, bro, I can't even get their credit cards, so I damn sure ain't getting their phone number. Like, I was like, all right.
So some of the things they've just got some bullet points. So it seems like the motto for 5G in the new DC timeline is that everything happened. So they're still trying to figure out like how are we going to explain all of the continuity questions that our diehard fans are going to have, of course. So there's going to be a lot of, I think, summits and press conferences. Some of the articles I read was like, don't be surprised if a lot of like your favorite big name creators kind of disappear for a little bit, because what they'll probably do is have them all like in one brainstorming session and trying to figure out, all right, how do we make
lock them in an office?
Lock them in an office. Make this make sense.
Make it make sense. You got 2 days.
I want to say some of the first places that you'll see like this new timeline happen is primarily Wonder Woman number 750, as well as Flash number 750, and I think they both come out in like the next at least month. But this will be the first instance of where you see some of these new status quos. And to Ed's point, one of their plans is to make Wonder Woman the like the first DC superhero, like kind of paint her as the first DC superhero. Sort of like the way I took it was like
Captain
make
America.
her Marvel's Captain America, because they're going to have her fight in World War I, like kind of retcon her story where she's fighting World War I to match the movies.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That definitely makes sense because she's like still she doesn't age like at all. So it's like okay, yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah. So they were also speculating that that they would probably use like Black Label and DC's other kind of one-off publishing titles as their opportunity to tell the stories, like continue telling stories of the legacy characters.
Yeah.
That a lot of your Scott Snyders, your Jeff Johns, etc., would kind of jump ship to Black Label to tell their own story.
That makes sense.
Because the continuity is going to be such a pain in the ass, and I think editorial is going to have a lot of oversight
like their
in the beginning.
Elseworlds stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's like what I'm thinking about now, because most of me was sitting here going like, so if they're gonna make that the new continuity, if it bombs, are they gonna have a backup plan?
I'm sorry. So they plan on using, and once again, this is all speculation. This is nothing in concrete yet. I mean, Dan Didio has, I think he's really been addressing it like on Twitter, and he's like really kind of keeping it close to the chest. So take it as you will, and you can always do, your own research. And I'm sure that a bunch of new stuff will come out by the time this episode is out. But it sounds like the idea is to use like Black Label and DC Giant. So I believe that is the series that Walmart prints.
Yeah.
I think it's called DC Giant. So they'll use that as the vehicle to tell like the stories of the legacy characters. Meanwhile, the main continuity and main stories that you get week by week will be this 5G stuff. Yeah, and I think Dan Didio has gone on
trying to cater to all the different fan types.
Yeah,
see, and it's crazy because now you're making Luke Fox. If you're making Luke Fox,
which I thought was a really interesting choice. It's like, yo, Luke Fox.
I'm like sitting here going like, they haven't even covered him enough to me. And I read a lot about Batman. It's like they haven't really covered him a lot. They're starting to slowly introduce him into the animated movies, but I'm like, huh. So like, I get it, but
this is a quote from Dan Didio. He says, Dan Didio. Is Dan Didio? I would say it wrong. Didio?
It's Didio.
Didio. Okay, cool. The purpose is to bring in a baseline of storytelling that brings a level of consistency and more uniformity in the interpretation of these characters. We are looking to build a series of books that will retell the history of the DC universe in some ways that will become our Bible for the DC universe. And he also goes on to mention in a separate text that they're not going to be erasing continuity. 5G will acknowledge that everything happened and it had an impact and deals with the consequences, including aging characters out of their roles, replaced mostly by new characters. So, I think that's a large undertaking to also like try to map out like, well, okay, if we're saying everything happened so that way we please everyone, how do you make sense of that?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of I mean, hell, even now to this day, DC's continuity is really like confusing. Like I cannot tell you how many times on Reddit I've been in threads that like are asking questions like, well, they never explain how this happened and why this character's still around or what happened to this relationship. Yeah. So I'm very curious. Well, to be honest, I don't. If I'm being super honest, I won't really care because I don't keep up continuity like that anymore.
Yeah.
Me either. It's like write good stories.
I think that's why I like Black Label a lot.
Yeah,
because I don't need to like keep up with the continuity.
Yeah,
it's a bold move, Barter. So let's see if it works. So, like, honestly, honest to God, though, like, I get why they're doing it because most people actually don't have the attention spans to keep on to like 6 different stories.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's literally bold, but you're changing more characters, and a lot of people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it. And you can keep the continuity with some of these characters, but the rest of them are like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Which you just said, they don't have a good track record of doing.
Yeah,
it's they're trying to cater to these like diehard fans, introducing new ideas without the backlash.
Yeah, but then making it, but also making it like the thing is, you're running this as your front runner. This is like, hey, this is literally what's going on right now.
Yeah,
all the other comics we're going to sprinkle in. It's like, hey. Most of this stuff is being based on how the movies are going.
Yeah, and this is like a super clear sign of like, okay, we need to like kind of get matched up with our DC.
Exactly. If you try to match up with the movies,
and DC's
Batman
never been good at that.
You know what? That's actually a good point. Is that I can clearly see the Marvel like
they've done it.
For a long time, like a long time. So I kind of got to give DC props for holding out and being like, no, the comic universe is the comic universe. Movies are separate. But I mean, of course, now it's kind of like, oh, all right, well, I guess maybe they caved or they have a plan on.
Yeah, because it's crazy to me because I'm like, what if the Batman hits and you literally just change continuity Batman to Luke Fox, who isn't going to be at this moment in time in the Batman movies?
Yeah,
and you got people rushing to go see that and going to go want to read comics. It's like, wait, Batman is who now? Yeah. So this isn't like, it's just gonna come into those interests where Marvel has done it and they have like changed their comics based on the movies.
They changed their like Their costuming is
That's
more
it.
matches
Yeah,
to the movies.
exactly. Just matching that, keeping the stories going,
good point.
but just changing, like keeping the stories going, but changing how they look to match what their movie counterpart looks like.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be exact story wise, but recognizable to someone new.
Exactly.
Like, if you go in and like say Rocket Raccoon, and you go in and he's in the blue, and Groot, they're in the blue uniforms. It's like that's not what they look like.
That's not what they look like.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because there's a Amanda Conner and Palmati are doing a Birds of Prey series, which is going to be different from the movie.
Yeah.
But it's coming out in February, and that's one of the few times I've seen them kind of give a title when the movie is about to come out or before the movie is going to come out.
So like I said,
people can come in and it's like, oh, Birds of Prey, what's that about? And if you give them like the old Birds of Prey, there's nothing to do.
Has nothing to do with any of this. Like,
so,
I seen that good someone had posted a picture of like the old Birds of Prey comic, and they were like, my Birds of Prey.
yeah.
yeah, of course.
This is mine.
Like,
So
of
this
course.
one is like Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey, which I think the movie should have been.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like, but that's kind of how they picture it. Like, but I mean, who knows? That movie actually might be good, but we hope. But honestly, it's really to the point to where they're just trying to match continuity with everything and trying to make money. It's a cash grab.
Yeah.
And if it works, it pays off. Dope.
Damn, you do sound like Cesar. You really did feel like
Dude, look, that is why C is like one of my favorite people on this damn show. Like, honest to God, Hermano, I love you. But no, it's literally like that because it's going to be a cash grab. You're going to want more eyes on your product. If your product doesn't match what you're trying to push on to people, what the hell are you selling them?
Yeah.
I did find this one last thing I want to mention pretty interesting because I was like, man, is Wonder Woman up to 750 issues already? And I mean, and to Ed's point, we've seen like all of these like restarts and rebrands and an attempt to like, either, especially Marvel does it a lot to match the movies. They'll just restart a series, new number one. Well, Dan Didio had said that we would not be seeing that. Like, I think his words are like, the 750 numbering is not a stunt. It is the ongoing numbering. You will not be seeing Flash number 1 or Wonder Woman number 1 in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so they did that with like Detective Comics.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did that. And
Action Comics,
and even with Batman, it's like when they have Batman 700, it's still like 750, but it's just named 50. But they go like 750.
And that's you know what, and that's small, but also big to me. It's kind of nitpicking about the numbering because sometimes they do show like, hey, this is legacy numbering. But that's another reason why I stopped caring about like continuity or what's like where this plays a role in. Because I'm like, yo, even y'all don't like. You guys are not set on what you want. Like, do you want it the legacy numbering or do you want it number 1? But I mean, I say all that to say this. It sounds like an interesting premise. More than likely, it'll impact me in whatever books I'm currently reading on the DC side. But if you're interested in this. It sounds like Wonder Woman number 750, Flash number 750, and then even Metal Men, which is going to be a series that the publisher himself, Dan Didio, is going to be writing, is all going to kind of be like the precursor and like give you an example of what 5G is going to be about. This Wonder Woman one should be more so like them kind of massaging her origin to be like DC's first superhero, which I think is pretty cool.
That's cool.
No, I'm fine with that. It's just like like I said earlier, make it make sense.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well said. All right, gents. Let's go on break. When we get back, I want to talk about. We'll do a special champion season. I want to talk about what are some movies and comic books that you guys are looking forward to in 2020. What we'll do right now is play a new track by Alan Fresh, who was once known as KLA. It's called Desire. This track and many others should be showing up on a upcoming Shortbox mixtape that'll have a bunch of like instrumentals and music and whatnot. We'll probably have that as a Patreon exclusive, so be on the lookout for that. But like I said, this one is called Desire by Alan Fresh. We'll play that and be right back. What's like the big wrestling event you guys are looking forward to this year? Are you going to like WrestleMania?
So the plans currently are up in the air. Like I normally do. That'd be my 7th year going to WrestleMania.
Damn.
Woo. Yeah, dude, it has been more expensive over the last few years.
Oh my god.
Where's it at this year?
Tampa.
Yeah, it's
Oh
close.
wow.
This would literally be
feel like you got to,
inexpensive.
man.
That's what I'm saying. If it's in my backyard, I go. Because when it was in Orlando, I went twice. So it's like Tampa. I'm like, okay, cool. I might go, but the thing is, when I looked at the regular tickets, like there should be. I went to New Orleans for WrestleMania and I spent $90 on tickets. There should be no way. I'd been in Tampa Bay Stadium.
They're playing at Raymond James?
They're playing at Raymond James.
Okay.
There's no flipping way that I'm paying $200 to sit in the fucking nosebleeds.
Your choice of when to curse and not to curse is really funny.
Yeah, I know that. I was like, yeah, halfway in my head, I was like, man, I'm faking the funk. I gotta just keep it going, bro. Don't be new. But yeah, it was expensive. So normally, what I might do, I normally see the shows at the beginning of the week and then kind of leave when Mania happens, just in case if the match card isn't.
If I go,
great.
I'd go to see all the little shows.
That's
that
what I
pop
do.
up around it because there's all these smaller shows that kind of take advantage of all these international.
Yeah, because
People coming down.
you can't.
Do big names ever go or participate in the smaller shows?
So what it is,
Like as a side hustle?
So yes and no. This is the perfect time for you to see these names before they become big names.
Yeah.
And then big names who don't work for the big company can and will show
if
up.
they're not under contract.
Oh,
They're
that's
not.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they'll do it as a side hustle.
Because most of these are now with streaming and stuff, a lot of these smaller things are broadcast in some way. So if like someone from WWE goes to one of these small shows, even as a attendee,
Yeah.
it's
And they don't have
heat.
permission or
It's
anything,
heat.
they get in trouble.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, they do the side. It's mostly side hustle stuff. But yeah, I might go. But I am going to Houston for the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
So that's another reason why I might
Spirit
not.
Airlines, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's while you're joking,
Frontier.
I'm going to Orlando. The plane is I'm catching my flight out of Orlando, and I'm probably getting on a Spirit plane. So if I don't make it back,
Oh my God.
just know what took me out, bro. Just know what took me out.
Take a catapult.
You're you prioritizing a cheap ass flight over
Over my own safety?
a reasonable
That's a
safe
long-
plane.
Like, look, man, I may have
That's
a
a
death
long
wish,
flight
but
for
I got common sense too.
How long a
Jesus.
flight is that? Couple
2 hours. Just 2 hours.
Oh, that's
It's a 2 hour. It's a 2 hour. Like,
I
On a
flew.
Spirit plane, that's a long
I
time.
flew-
dog,
Being
that's
in the
your
air.
life.
I flew from Orlando to what was it? San Diego on a Frontier flight. Back when I think it was like Frontier had really just started.
Uh-huh.
That was a miserable freaking oh my god, dude!
Like
and it's like
chickens and
I didn't pay for any of
Of course you didn't.
the normal stuff, right? I should have paid for like the extra legroom at least. Did not. It was
Oh, God.
it was
Oh,
the
man.
hardest. I think it was a 5.5 hour flight. It fucking sucked.
surprised they
And I think I
don't
said,
like that
and I think ever
shit.
since then I have I flown Frontier? I think I flew once with Frontier, but it was like a quick anything under like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Those budget airlines, man.
Dog, that's what kills me. Like, I'm not.
Just fly a jet. Fly Delta.
That's like, look, man. I have American Airlines membership. I fly Delta, but times is hard right now, and like the people who are willing to pay,
man.
the people who are willing to pay for my flight are looking at doing Spirit, and I'm like, I ain't got no choice. But I'm terrified. Like, I am like,
yeah, no, it's one of those things that, like, when you fly Spirit, you get your affairs in order prior to your flight.
exactly. Let me write my will and testament.
Yeah.
My last will
My
and
attorney
testament.
Record a last message.
Exactly.
If
Like,
you're seeing this video,
Yeah, I flew Spirit.
some Twilight Zone
A
shit.
body's in
Like,
the ocean,
I'm not ready. But yeah, but honestly, if I make it to the Royal Rumble, that's one of the reasons why I might not go to Mania, because I just went to that. So, but if I go to Tampa, it'll literally to go BS watching the local the indie shows.
That's cool. Welcome back, Short Boxers. Like I said, that was a track by Alan Fresh called Desire. Be on the lookout for that upcoming Short Box mixtape here in a couple weeks. Man, there's nothing to do in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Did somebody say there's nothing to Duval in Jacksonville?
Danny Duval! What are you doing here?
Your ignorance summoned me. Now shut up and listen to these words. North Florida's premier anime, comic book, sci-fi, and pop culture event, Collective Con, returns for its 6th year. On March 20th through the 22nd, stars from The Mandalorian, Game of Thrones, Supernatural, The Crow, Dragon Ball Z, and even famous Pokemon card illustrator Mitsuhiro Arita is flying in from Japan to join in on the fun.
Wow! That sounds awesome!
Why are you still standing here? Go buy your tickets today at collectivecon.com, you lovable Nimrods!
We got one email to read today, and it's from our new Shortbox patron, Errol White. He writes, "Good day, Shortbox Jacks. I truly enjoy your podcast, and I figured it was time to show my support in a more direct way outside of downloading and listening. What Shortbox does for our local community and the culture as a whole is amazing. Y'all are a talented crew who not only bring comics, movies, series, and books to your listeners, but you promote Duval to the fullest and showcase the different events and vendors around the city. I gave my 2-year-old son his first hardback Spider-Man book this past Christmas, and now he wants me to read it to him all the time. Comics are a great way to promote literacy and learning, and I have a challenge for the Shortbox Nation. What do you think about doing a comic book drive with age-appropriate comics for the 2020 holiday season? I see firsthand how my son is engaged and wants to read Spider-Man himself. I think a comic book drive would help to promote literacy within our community, advance the comic book culture with our youth, and highlight the continued engagement of the podcast in the city it airs from. I am willing to make the first sponsorship and purchase $200 worth of comics for this if it is something that the Shortbox is willing to take on.
Damn.
Maybe the Jack's Public Library, their podcast, and some of the local shops in the area would be willing to help. I'm just throwing out an idea, and I won't be hurt or disappointed if it doesn't happen. Cesar has my number if you want to talk further. Again, I love the podcast. Thank you for the shout out on episode 272. It made my week. Well, consider this another shout out, Errol. Thanks again for that great email. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad to see the work that we put in does not go unnoticed, and especially the emphasis on our passion and love of the city. I definitely think another community kind of charity event is definitely going to be in the works, especially after the success that we had with our comic swap and hip hop food drive.
I'm mad I missed that to this day, but I'm glad you guys did.
I still hold it against you. I still
I feel it. That's why you hadn't called. It's cool.
No, but no, Errol. I think for sure another charity event is going to go down, and I think maybe this year we might shift the focus to something a little more like kid friendly oriented, and I think that was a great idea. So it might be something that we definitely pursue, and trust me, we'll be hitting you up for that generous contribution and a donation idea. So, yeah, man, thank you for that email. And I want to go ahead and let the rest of the listeners know we love when people send us emails, whether it's a comment, a gripe, if they use the opportunity to champion something they like, or just a message for us, man. Shoot us an email at theshortboxjacks@gmail.com or leave a short voicemail on our phone, 904-580-4095. We love voicemails as well. What's up, Shaggy?
Dude, do you remember when I started doing my emails?
Yo, you don't do them no more.
No.
That's because that's because 9 times
honestly,
I'm here.
Between like you and you know what, Matt Stenson too. Like we haven't had a Matt attack in a long time. I think between you and Matt, like y'all are among our most consistent email. Yo,
look big now.
Yeah, for real. He's on. I need to keep. That's a problem.
Honest.
That's a problem. He's not hungry for this no more. Ed. He's not. He gets occasionally once a month. Now when I hit him up, he's like, I'll see if I can make it. I'll see.
I came in here rolling with the shades on. He's started looking at me like
makeup.
That's my rider.
It's like yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Point me to my dressing room, please.
You know who's definitely taken the man definitely stepped up and probably taking your mantle a little bit. Malcolm. My boy Malcolm sends emails constantly.
I'm proud of him, man, because he does.
Real quick, speaking about emails, so Ed, I think you remember this. Remember when C had challenged our listeners to send in kind of us as D&D characters?
Oh, yeah.
So we did get an email
from a
Shortbox patron, nonetheless. Shout out to Hydraberg. I know your real name, but I love just calling you Hydraberg. He sent a pretty good email giving all of us characters. And I want to save that email for whenever we do have at least Cesar or Ashley here with us. No offense to you, Shaggy.
No, hey, man. I'd be mad if you did.
But yeah, Hydraberg, trust me, I've got your email. I promise to read it. Just looking for the right time. So with that being said, let's jump into our last segment of the show. Normally we do Champion Season, but with this being the first episode of 2020, I wanted to do something a little more special. I wanted to highlight and ask all of you guys, what are some of the movies, comic books, TV series, etc., that are coming out that has you guys hyped and excited for? I just kind of want to know what's on your radars and what maybe it's something that other folks listening might want to check out themselves. Ed, how about you go ahead and kick us off? What are you looking forward to in 2020?
There's a couple of series that are coming out. Actually, Boys Season 2 is coming out towards the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be interesting because especially with that swerve they did at the end of last season, which is completely different from the books. Umbrella Academy second season's coming out this year. They're doing that Lock and Key next month, I believe.
So I have a lot of trailers to watch. I need to watch that. I need to watch New Mutants. Was there one more? Is there like another trailer?
There's a new Harley.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Those things are popping up in my head. There's a new Jonathan Hickman comic image book coming out.
Yeah.
Decorum, I believe.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Mike
That was
Huddleston
my list.
on the art, who's awesome. The Wonder Woman thing is interesting, just to kind of see with Scott Snyder on Wonder Woman how he can expand that mythology like he did with Batman. He's an interesting writer for that book.
Yeah, he
Kinda
is.
See what.
You know what? And that didn't even like click. You're right. Like Scott, because he's starting with what, 750?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn. Wow, Scott Snyder's writing a Wonder Woman book.
So it's interesting because, like I said, I consider him
cool.
like a horror writer.
Yeah, me too.
He's but like I said, the things he did with Batman, like expanding a mythology that I didn't think could be expanded anymore with like Court of Owls and things like that.
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
imagine in this
Oh
fantasy,
my god, yeah, dude.
in this kind of fantasy setting, what he can really bring to the table with this mythology fantasy.
I feel like we might get. I mean, if you look at his work that he did in Batman Heavy Metal,
Yeah.
I think it would translate pretty well with like Wonder Woman and like the whole Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Ooh, would be some fire right there.
Oh, and this one I just saw. Tom King is doing a Adam Strange series.
Yo, freaking Doc Shaner, right?
Doc Shaner from
That is going to be a gorgeous
Venture
looking
Brothers fame.
I need that. Like, he's been posting that on his IG page.
Yeah.
And I just was like, okay.
As good as his Miracle Man
Let's go.
stuff?
Like, yeah, I love the Miracle Man.
I won't lie.
Vision.
I'd be really happy if he tones down the esoteric existentialism just a little bit and like kind of gives me like high flying space adventure.
With this character, I think
Probably not though. But,
No, it's
Yeah.
definitely not happening.
which I'm
I
fine
think
with.
he'll add that in there. But
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's going to look gorgeous. Doc Shaner is so
Yeah.
good, man.
yeah. So those are the ones that are like just kind of pop into my head.
Oh, those are some
There's
good
like
ones.
some new stuff coming out.
Real quick, Ed, and I feel like we've probably talked about Lock and Key, or you've definitely championed it. But like, what is Lock and Key about?
I've only read like the first kind of handful, so I'm not entrenched in the whole. But it's it's a Joe Hill
Okay,
did this comic for IDW, and I forgot the name. Gabriel. I forgot the artist's name.
it's not Walter, right?
No, it's
I'll look it up.
But who was an architect by trade, which is cool because the stories about this kind of mystical house, and they find all these different keys. And like I said, I'm not doing the story justice, but Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King. So this is he wrote this, I think 08 or 06, something like that, and it was before he really let everyone know that he's Stephen King's son. He was kind of trying to,
okay.
because he wrote a few books under Joe Hill just to kind of see how well they would do on their own merit, rather than saying, "Hey, I'm Stephen King's
cool.
kid, buy my book." And Stephen King even did that with the Bachman books, where it's like because his stuff was just instantly going on the bestseller list. So he decided, I guess I'm tired of selling all these books, so I'm going to write under a pen name
Let me see if I
how
still got it.
see how well they do.
And the
if
art
my
is-
name's not attached.
And the art is by Gabriel Rodriguez. Yeah, 2008 is the first.
Yeah, so he's a architect by trade who got into comics, drawing comics. So the main, you could say like the main character of the book is that house. So it's really cool seeing it. But yeah, it's
damn, that's really cool.
and then like the story rolls around kids, so that's kind of like a Stephen King type of thing. I guess he inherited from his dad.
Man,
But, yeah,
I hope
don't
he didn't
have-
get the same writing style as his dad either. Because like
Better
him and
endings.
kids, yeah, him and kids
No,
don't
nothing.
mix, don't
Yeah.
at all.
None of that. No kitty. None of that stuff. But there's some like violence in it, so I'm not sure how much they're going to put in. It's a Netflix show, so they can kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah, I got to
So
watch this
I'm
trailer.
just kind of
Yeah, do that.
kind of interested into seeing how that goes.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Shaggy, what are you looking forward to in 2020?
So right now, I just kind of let everything happen.
Because I know your movie list is probably fucking weird.
It is going to be weird because I am a big horror proponent of this. I like to think of the show Me and C. One thing I'm looking forward to is I'll just give you 3 because it'll be 2 movies and obviously a game because I bring the culture here to this podcast.
Which one?
With
The video game culture?
Yes,
Or
video game culture.
GameStop.
And just culture. Yeah, you're right, dude.
Yeah, GameStop.
We got internet
I have
stuff,
to.
man.
I have to.
The living meme.
Exactly, dude. I can't escape it, no matter how hard. But first one I want to bring up is like the movie Antlers. Speaking of trailers, have you seen the trailer for that? So it's a Guillermo del Toro produced movie, directed by Scott Cooper, who did a few horror movies, but not a lot of them. But he's mostly known for like Black Mass, which is not a horror movie. It's like an action. It's like an action movie. It is creepy as hell. Like that movie is going to be insane only because it has Guillermo del Toro's visuals and that guy's directorial styling when it comes to like the conversation of the movies. So it's going to be a psychological thriller, and if you're any fan of Del Toro, you will see his type of imagery because it's going to be all over the place, like just all types of horror genres in that. But the other one, speaking of which, the horror is actually coming out really soon here in March. A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yo, that's on my When did they announce that?
So,
or am I just so out of the loop? Because when I saw that on whatever list,
it's a little bit of both because
they really kept it quiet.
They did.
Got him.
They did only because they it's a little bit of both because what happened was after this one did so well, they said no, we're making a sequel to this, but they kept it on the wraps because they're like it didn't really warrant one, but they'd be crazy not to. So they were like, well, John, I never can say his last name right, Krasinski.
Yeah,
They came to him and they were like, okay, yeah, we'll do a sequel, and he's directing it again. With his wife playing the lead role, but he's gotten Cillian Murphy in this movie too, playing. And I'm like, oh, they got my man, the Scarecrow, in this movie. But Cillian Murphy actually does really well in these types of movies. But this one apparently takes place from the trailer. Have you seen the trailer for that one too?
Oh, there's a trailer
for Quiet Place 2?
Oh, no.
Oh, bro, holy shit.
All right, I got a lot of trailers to watch.
I'm not gonna spoil that trailer.
But my god, there's spoilers for trailers now.
Hey, bro, like it's a lot.
Okay,
that trailer tells you a lot. So it's a little bit of how this thing got started, plus what's going on now.
Oh, that's dope. Okay, because I was wondering, like, man, what story do you tell afterwards? But I guess you could.
Yeah,
I guess you could.
It kind of I'm guessing the movie probably starts out the same way the original movie did. Only it's going to cover what happened and how they got this far, and then probably continue telling you what happened after they figured out how to fight the monsters.
That's a good one. Quiet Place 2 is good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that trailer's actually hype. March 20th when that one comes out.
Cool.
And finally, the one I want to cover. Obviously, this is one video game that when it comes out. No one call me. I will not answer. Don't even. I already took off vacation. I got it approved.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, it's
I love it. I love the seriousness.
Cyberpunk 2077.
The Keanu Reeves game.
Yes. This is before. So I've been waiting for this game for about close to 4 to 5 years because it was originally supposed to come out on PC, but then they decided to say, no, we'll make it PC and console. And it's the same people who have made the Witcher series. So it's very CD Projekt Red, one of the most critically acclaimed studios when it comes to making Western RPG games. So this one being the fact that you can fully customize your character the way you want to, play the game the way you want to.
What's it about?
So it's
maybe you have to sell it.
So Cyberpunk 2077 is based off of the Cyberpunk 2020 tabletop game that's actually still running to this day. It's about it's actually about crime. It's actually think of Grand Theft Auto, and if everyone was made with cybernetics.
So it's like Grand Theft Auto and like Blade Runner.
Yes,
the
fused
territories.
together.
It's
Yes.
like Shadowrun stuff. Or?
So not necessarily Shadowrun stuff, more so on the lines of like people are still human and they go by their day-to-day lives, but you may see somebody like fully decked out that's looking like they have to like everything's cybernetic about them, like they actually have like their jaw and stuff in it, but they're not doing cybernetics to look they're actually making the cybernetics look cool, not because they need to.
That's like cosmetic.
It's definitely cosmetic, but it's damaging. Like some in the game, your character can actually make their hand turn into a blade if they need to, if you want that upgrade, or have the ability to where you can hack into things faster, or have the ability to where you can shoot guns a lot better.
I don't even need that in person, like my real life, but I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I definitely will be like.
You never know when you might need a blade hand.
Yeah, exactly. Keanu Reeves is playing Johnny Silverhand, which is a popular character from the tabletop game, who is a rock god in that time frame in that.
I love it already.
Yeah, Johnny Silverhand is pretty much like a rock star / superhero / activist in that series who's like trying to take it to the man and everything that he wants to do, try to bring down the system. And you can do that in the game. Only in Cyberpunk 2077, he's your guide, but you don't know if he's with you or puppeteering whatever you're trying to do. That's how intricate the story is.
So is Keanu Reeves just playing like a high key version of himself?
Pretty much, yes.
Because I mean, he's kind of like a low key like rock god now. You know?
We talk about perfect castings on this show. That might quite possibly be the best
in a video game too.
Like, yes, in a video game.
Does it make you excited for? I mean, even though I know that there has been actors that have played in video games or voice video games, but does this make you excited that it might open? Does it make you excited or like come on, like that it might open the floodgate for more actors to be involved with like big video games?
So
because I mean that I know when that
Death Stranding had pretty crazy.
When E3, I think like when E3 premiered it or whatever, whenever the trailer started showing, like I know that was like.
Yeah.
Yo, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
the Keanu Reeves video game is like how I heard
it. It's like you were like, wait, what? It's like he's in a video game. Yeah, it's not a new thing that celebrities are in video games like this, because like you just said, Ed, Death Stranding has Mads Mikkelsen,
Guillermo del Toro,
and
Walking Dead guy.
Yeah. Oh my God, hold on, I forgot this dude's name because I like him a lot. I would say, dude from Blade 2. Yeah. And this one being more like, will you start seeing more celebrities do stuff like this? Yeah, I mean, obviously, like it's for small time type of not huge developers. Yeah, just coming out for these small time developers. So yeah, I'll do this because I would like to be in a game. Because yes, they voice a lot, but they sometimes rarely ever use their likeness, which is crazy.
Are you still looking up this?
I am looking up this dude's name. I'm stalling.
All good.
I'm stalling professionally. That's what that is.
Yeah, but they use like a lot of their. They use the likeness for him in that game.
Yeah, they literally just put him in the game.
They're just put him in the game.
He was originally supposed to be Norman Reedus, but he was originally supposed to be in Hideo Kojima's.
That's right.
He was supposed to be in Silent Hills. Which was supposed before Konami said, "Nah, we're good," and they pulled the plug on that.
That's right. Because I remember thinking, like, the Walking Dead guy video game.
Yeah. Oh my God!
Can't wait for the Christian Bale video game to come out.
Oh my God!
So Cyberpunk 2020 was one of your most anticipated games.
2077, yeah.
Okay, 2077. Yeah. What else you got?
That's pretty much it, man. Because after I get Cyberpunk, I may not even be around. Like, because that I'm fully aware.
Warcraft.
Dude, that game is going to be like at least 150 hours.
Ooh. Damn, my brother Joe's gonna love that game.
Dude,
I can see it.
He definitely already knows about it. Trust.
Yeah, for sure. So my list of I started off with, like the movies I'm most like kind of hyped for. Wonder Woman 1984. I'm gonna like knock out the superhero stuff first. Wonder Woman 1984, which comes out in June. New Mutants, of course, April 3rd. Just because, once again, it looks really interesting. And it's like a fresh take. I think after I watch that, I'll definitely end up finally reading the New Mutants Bear Saga. That's been on like my list to read for a long time. So I'm sure that'll be inspiring. Also, Venom 2 is supposed to come out this year. October 2nd is what the date I found. And if you guys remember right, this Venom movie is supposed to have, of course, Woody Harrelson as Carnage in that awesome bad wig. But I think Tom Holland is supposed to also show up in this movie. So, but I haven't seen any pictures. I don't even know if they're in production. I'm curious if it'll come out anyways, especially with like the new merger. But Venom 1 was such a freaking weird, wacky bad ride. But I'm really curious to see how it picked. But you cannot deny how much money it made and the success in the box office. Yeah. So for them to go ahead and strike while the iron hot with like Venom 2
has a very loyal fan base,
man.
And they're a part of the problem.
They're like Deadpool fans.
At least that movie was good, though.
Of course, I'm looking forward to Bad Boys for Life.
Of course you are.
You got to, man. Come on, man.
Of course you are.
I had A Quiet Place Part 2 only because I was like, what? That movie's already coming out with Part 2? I thought it was.
Did
done.
you like Part 1?
Part 1 was legit, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. I know like a lot of people were hating on it because of like the plot holes and stuff, but I didn't care. Like,
no,
that's fun.
You definitely got to suspend your belief for a movie like that.
It's a movie that's like right off the bat, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, they killed it. Spoiler alert, they killed a child.
You kind of get the premise like right off the bat. Like,
yeah, there's like, it's like, y'all killing. Okay.
Yeah.
There is a Pixar movie coming out. It's called Soul. It is coming out in June. It stars Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey, John Ratzenberger, and David Diggs.
John Ratzenberger, crazy.
Yeah, here's the premise. It kind of like caught my attention because like, I'm definitely at least gonna watch a animated movie. But it features Jamie Foxx as a jazz-loving middle school teacher whose soul is separated from his body during an accident and transported to a training center for newer souls preparing to enter the bodies of newborn babies. There he meets a soul in training, voiced by Tina Fey, who has been trapped there for years. That premise does not sound like Pixar, you know?
Oh no,
like we are touching some like really kind of like mystical, like right.
That definitely sounds like Pixar because they're not afraid of killing anyone.
No, yeah,
that's Disney
true.
Pixar.
So
they're not
cry.
afraid. In
Cry,
the first,
bitch, cry.
Look, the first 10 minutes they're going to kill someone. You probably just like, hey, I like this character. Oh no!
Yeah. And like to touch on like kind of like almost religious maybe themes or like kind of like life and like spiritual themes. Like that, it caught my attention just from the description. So
I do remember seeing that trailer.
You know what? I think I did. All right, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I did see the trailer for that, and I didn't know it was Jamie Foxx voicing them, but I saw that he was like, I was like, oh snap! I was like, okay, so I was like, all right, Pixar's killing black men. All right, I get it. I got it. And then, but no, I was like, I didn't know the premise of them actually going to the soul. I thought it was a movie about the afterlife. Actually, technically, still is, but it's about we're going into like babies.
Yeah.
So you already know Tina Fey's probably gonna double cross him because like she's like, dude, I've been here forever. It's my turn.
Yeah, probably. And then I've got some guilty pleasure ones.
Oh boy!
Like, well, not really guilty pleasures.
No, it's they're not guilty pleasures if you love them, Barter.
Coming to America 2 is supposed to be out.
That is a guilty pleasure. No, I'm interested in that.
Godzilla vs. Kong is supposed to come out this year.
Okay, I can't even talk. I may be actually going back. I may be going to Austin to go see that movie.
Kong. I mean, the last Kong movie was. I love that live.
Yes.
That shit was awesome.
Skull Island was dope.
It's good.
I have not seen the last Godzilla movie yet.
I have
with Millie Brown and
I have
Stark Lannister or the Lannister. I have not seen that one yet.
Me and Corey went to go see that movie, and we
be honest with me.
Yes,
is it
sir.
boring?
No.
Okay.
No, there's monster. The first one, yeah, I will say that.
No, I'm talking about.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
The first Godzilla movie. Yes,
Cranston in it.
with Bryan Cranston in it.
Oh my God, that's right. There was
that one. Yeah,
that was not the same movie.
No, it is not. That one's boring because it takes a little bit. This one, it's like they listen to the fans.
Was Millie Brown in both of them?
No, just the
okay,
one.
dang,
No.
wow. We got
They like the first one, yes. The second one, they listen to the fans and say, "Oh, y'all want more monster fights? We'll give you more monster fights." Did the plot suffer from it? Of course, but we didn't care about the plot. That's the thing about
Godzilla.
No one cares about a fucking plot.
That
people
trailer
in rubber costumes punching each other, or CGI.
So I'll probably have to watch that for that.
Yeah.
But then also, all right, this is the guilty pleasure one because I don't feel like none of those were really guilty.
No,
pleasure.
they weren't.
But when I saw the trailer for Top Gun Maverick in theaters,
My God,
you cannot tell me it got me so. And it might be just because of like my Air Force background.
It's
but I got
definitely because of that.
so hyped. And I
How's
was
he
like,
still in the Air Force?
Yo, first of all, he would have been kicked out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if anyone at this table to be mad at the inaccuracies, it would be you, dude.
First of all, those type of G's he's pulling in that plane would destroy his body.
It's like Barter wants to go hate watch
Dude,
this movie.
but it was something about like how badass. Like I could just tell from this trailer and just like Tom Cruise's acting, he was really hyped to be back in that jacket.
of course he was.
And I wouldn't be surprised, knowing Tom Cruise and how serious he takes his stunts, especially what he did with like Mission Impossible, that if he didn't learn how to fly like a freaking fighter jet, I would not actually be surprised.
Is
at all.
You know
Val Kilmer
what?
in this too?
No.
All fat?
He apparently, I think his character died.
Oh, hard
Yeah,
attack.
so like, look, I'm gonna match you guilty pleasure once if you want to be that way. I'll say the new Bill and Ted movie.
Oh, that's coming out.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah,
because Keanu Reeves.
that's
Keanu
right.
Reeves is pretty much is like, we're
This
gonna.
one piqued my interest, and I'll mention it. But
And a new Matrix movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
both of those movies come out the same
Day.
oh yeah,
Making all the money.
Yes,
so this one was a. I mean, I just found like a giant list of like movies coming out in 2020. I don't know if this one had a date. The rest I believe do, but it listed Uncharted on there based on the video games.
yeah.
They had oh my god, Tom Holland as
Yeah.
the lead, and I forgot who else is attached.
Tom
to that
Holland is that guy.
Yeah,
Which-
he is.
movie. I think he could play him a younger version, but
Well, maybe that's what
and his name is Drake in the
Drake.
yeah, Drake in the movie. In the video games,
Drake.
but he don't got the charm. I don't know if Tom Holland can nail the. I guess he did pretty good as Peter Parker.
He can definitely he played the hell out of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like especially kid version.
But when
of Peter.
I played Uncharted, like the charm was almost like Ryan Reynolds kind of like
Yeah,
vibey,
that
like
makes sense.
where he's always just saying like the right funny thing, and like even in like very dire situations, it's still like really good comedic effect. So I wonder if Tom Holland can nail that. If he can nail that, then he might be perfect for it.
It was Mark Wahlberg.
There you go. That all right. And how could I forget my fucking boy Mark Wahlberg?
Wahlberg.
Yo. and all right, yeah, I'm kind of in for it just because of Mark Wahlberg. I can see like Mark Wahlberg like jumping on like rocks and doing all these like
Wait,
crazy.
he's not playing Drake?
right? Like, yo,
no,
what?
he's actually playing Sully.
Oh, okay.
Oh, his brother.
He was supposed to be playing
Okay.
Sully, the older guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, here's the sad thing:
Sully's
you might
brother
want
in games.
to do some research because this movie has actually just been put on the mend.
What do you mean?
Meaning it's been on hold. It's gonna be.
Oh,
back
yeah.
on hold.
Well, that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
that oh, that's right. Never mind. Sully's not his brother. He's
No.
like the older kind of like mentor. Okay, this
Is
movie's
that
getting
Sonic
kind of
movie
weird.
coming out this year?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
actually
boy.
taking my little nephew to go see that. That's like one of his
I might go
birthday
see that.
presents.
I might go see that.
I won't lie. When they did the update, I was impressed. I'm like, I'm here for this.
I think it's gonna be like you can get like if they bring it out on Blu-ray, you can see the Nightmare version.
You would hope. You're like, yo,
you know what?
let's get the first trailer.
They
on
should
here.
label it the
They'd be like,
Nightmare version.
Sonic and Cats 2-pack.
Exactly. Hey, look. If they do that, that's like they say, hey man, yeah, we can make jokes too. Here you go. But this is what happened when cyberbullying works.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what happened. Like, dude, it's just like you.
That's unprecedented. If you think about it.
It's crazy because they literally went back and you made. It's like we
Oh, you
as
know it's
people.
not cheap.
We as
No.
people made them go back
Yeah.
and spend shame them into probably another $5 million into redoing that.
at
dude.
least.
Look,
Like-
and that goes back to my original point at the beginning of this episode. Like, it's
The power.
really the power of like the consumer. Really, I was gonna say people, but like the consumer.
Oh my God, man.
So these are some comics that I'm looking forward to in 2020. Ed, I think you touched on Jonathan Hickman's latest creator-owned property, Decorum, with the artist Mike Huddleston, who did The Strain. I guess he did some artwork for Del Toro's The Strain.
Yeah.
But
He's good.
Like
That
to your
guy's
point, that title's supposed to come out the 11th of March, and I think the only in true Hickman fashion, he's keeping everything kind of close to the chest. I think the only thing he mentioned was that this world combines like high technology, science fiction, and brings it kind of head to head with like this group of like assassins.
Yeah.
And he quotes it says, "It's a tale of the most well-mannered assassins you've ever met." So that definitely got my attention. There's a Transformers and Terminator comic coming out from IDW and Dark Horse, which I think is pretty straightforward what you're going to get. Shout out.
They're just gonna step on those little bitches.
Jesus.
What are they gonna do?
Like just mad disrespect. Like
So that'll be out sometime.
Crush.
That'll be sometime out. That'll be out sometime in March. And you know what, man? IDW. God bless them, man. All these movie IPs and like toy IPs that they have, they're doing it right.
Dude, they did like a whole Hasbro, like mask.
I was at
Turtles.
I was at Gotham, and I was talking to Ben, and he was shout outs to Ben because he's the one that told me about this Terminator Transformers book. But he was saying that like Power Rangers, TMNT, even like this new Power Rangers TMNT,
Joe too, right?
yeah, and like this new TMNT Power Rangers crossover. Are like some of his highest selling books. Like there's more people subscribe to those books than say like Batman or Superman.
That's crazy.
Which I think is awesome. IDW knows what they're doing. Like they definitely know what they're doing. And then I've also got Green Lantern Season 2, written by Grant Morrison and a phenomenal artist Liam Sharp. I did not finish all of Season 1, but I think it's cool that DC is letting Grant Morrison kind of channel his TV writing experiences and like allowing it to be called Season 2. And all Grant Morrison has said is like, if you enjoyed all the craziness I did in Season 1, you're going to love what I do in Season 2. It'll be a lot more like one-off stories, but it's just follows Hal Jordan. And I'm telling you right now, the art is phenomenal. If you're a fan of like heavy metal kind of artists, like the vibe in this is great. And it's Grant Morrison,
Love me some Grant Morrison.
Yeah, and the only other thing I got is this new series by Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney, which I've been, wondering where Chris Samney's been for a long time now. I guess that's where he's at. But they got a new series coming out on, I believe, Image, of course, called Firepower. And the best way I can describe it, it's almost like Doctor Strange meets Iron Fist and Dragon Ball Z. Like your kind of typical story of like, dude goes wandering into like Tibet or some shit like that, finds an ancient like, hidden temple and learns how to like become a really dope fighter. But the art is great from what I've seen. I'm sure I've probably kind of slaughtered that that premise. It might be something a little deeper, but what my understanding is that they are coming out with a prelude trade paperback on April 29th in time for the first issue to come out, I believe, for Free Comic Book Day. So, and it's Robert Kirkman too, like the creator of Walking Dead as well as Invincible. Like he's got a good track record.
Yeah.
So those are some of the books and movies that I am most interested in looking forward to. I want to go and ask our listeners if there is a movie, TV series, comic book, etc. that you're looking forward to in 2020 that we might not have listed. I want to hear it from you guys. What are you looking forward to in 2020? Shoot us an email at theshowboxjacks@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 904-580-4095. Let us know what you want to champion and what you're looking forward to. Gents, this was a good episode. Good way to knock the rust off, get back into 2020. Do you guys got anything like big planned for like 2020? I mean, I know Shaggy, you're talking about WrestleMania, but I mean, Ed, do you have anything going on for like conventions or whatnot?
Nothing planned as of right now. I'm still kind of figuring everything out.
Yeah, I wanted to. I think for sure this year I'll be returning back to a Heroes Con, and I think that's in June. But I think we'll probably try to do another like a panel. So that to me right now, Heroes Con is like my main. If I go to any con in the year, it'll be Heroes Con, and I have a 2020 personal goal to at least attempt to attend one of the bigger between New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con. If it's not like business related, shortbox related, I just want to go as a just a spectator.
I heard New York.
I've never been.
I heard New York's actually easier to get into versus San Diego, but that's also could have been like a few years ago.
And I feel like New York might be more viable budget wise, financially, because it's a flight from here to New York is a straight shot. And I know some folks I can crash with. So that's my personal goal is New York Comic Con and for sure Heroes Con. Shaggy, what other events you got? WrestleMania?
I got like Royal Rumble in Houston, WrestleMania.
You say it like
because it is a lot.
The internet superstar you are.
Oh man, I got a lot.
Why have you not like really tried to lean in and capitalize on like your meme fame?
I literally tried.
You can make appearances.
I tried.
The Black GameStop.
I tried, man, but like but I think what it was not a lot of people knew it was me, man. So it was like, and then they're kind of like, oh, because if you look at that picture and then look at me now, it's like he doesn't look anything like this. People have to like second guess and look at everything. Like he looks.
But
so
that's what I'm saying is that go buy a pair of Jinkos at the thrift shop for 50 cents.
Yeah, dude.
Go buy whatever this shirt was, and like make appearances, man.
I
Come on.
legitimately wanted to dress up as that for Halloween.
They just went out of business, though.
again.
Yeah, again.
Oh no!
Jinkos or GameStop?
Jinkos.
Oh, damn.
Jinkos.
They'll be back. Don't worry.
GameStop's on.
No, they literally tried. They just tried to come back and they just
then
went
they
out
failed.
again.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Right after the relaunch, yeah.
Oh
It's
no!
like, we're not just baggy weird shit anymore.
Yeah, nah.
We sell normal pants.
Yeah.
Nobody wants them.
No
It's
one
like,
wants that.
I
No,
get
bring
normal
me the-
pants anywhere else.
Like, give me those
Get
baggy
Jinkos.
joints, man.
I want something with like a jester hat and a
Exactly. I want
size
it's like,
50 loop on my
damn it, if I want to go, it's like I want to be a juggalo. I got to do it right.
juggalo.
But
But
yeah,
they didn't
other-
buy the company.
that's kind of what I'm getting. I'm like, yo, I'd heard about it, and you tell me this. My heart is kind of broken,
I think between us three, we could probably buy the company.
dude. We probably can. Shortbox jeans, Shortbox jeans via the Jinko brand. There you go. Yeah, man, I got like really. Like, I'm probably gonna do some traveling, but nothing big coming up. I guess if I had to say a goal, I just want to just continue the same goal I've been doing, getting my shit together.
I feel like that's usually like
common.
That's usually like the carryover goal from every year.
Yeah, just
Get shit
more,
together.
just put more,
Get
and
shit
just
together.
also bring up my bad bitch levels. That's they've been low for like last couple of years. They need to come back up.
Well, best of luck. I hope you the best on that.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying.
With that being said, listeners, this is the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't let this be your last episode. Join us again next week for a new podcast. And if you can't wait until then, consider becoming a Shortbox patron on patreon.com/theshortbox, where your contributions equals access to bonus episodes, unreleased interviews, and even exclusive merch and gifts from us. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in, Shortbox Nation.
Yo, what happened to peace? Peace.